Hello, guys, and welcome to our 15% and above leader call. I am super excited. I'm not going to waste any time. We are jumping right into this. But I have a very special guest for you guys tonight, and we're jumping back into the interviews. I'm going to tell you the first time that I met this woman, I got the pleasure of meeting her at convention last year, and we didn't get to spend a ton of time together, but I immediately loved her vibe. I loved her personality. And I'm super excited for you guys to hear from her. So, welcome, Tasha, to our interview tonight. Now, before we even get started, tell everybody what time it is right now.
It is 2 a.m. in the morning.
2 a.m., guys. Okay, I have to bring this up because here's the thing. Sometimes we let excuses get into our way. Like I'm going to be honest with you, I've had UK team members, the calls are so late, I can't jump on them. Here's a girl that will show up no matter what. She's on the calls, she's plugging in, she's learning, she's with the community, but also when we're talking about filling spots for interviews and stuff, she was like, put me in, coach. Whenever you want me to go, let's go. 2 a.m. It doesn't matter. So I am super excited for you to be here with us. So let me go ahead and let you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, like non-pharmacy related.
Okay, so I'm Tasha Stephen. I'm from Scotland. So I am the easiest place to describe where I'm from in Scotland is where the Loch Ness Monster comes from. So I am from the Highlands of Scotland. We don't all wear kilts up there anymore, but that is where people wore kilts. And I have been married for 10 years this year to the love of my life. I'm not a mama yet. I'm going through a fertility journey right now. And I just, I'm so excited about that. I won't get into it because I'll get emotional. But I am your typical girly girl. I love pink. I'm a trained hairdresser, and Starbucks is just chef's kiss to me.
I think a lot of us can agree with that. Okay, so let's jump into pharmacy a little bit. Tell us about your network marketing background and what ultimately led you here to pharmacy.
Okay, so I was with my previous company for 8 years. I had done no network marketing before I joined that company. Um, and I joined with the kind of we were just kind of getting married, and I wanted to buy, those cute little things for your wedding that your husband's like, no, we can't afford that, like put that down. I wanted to buy things for my wedding with my commission that he could not then say, no, you're not having that. So I joined a network marketing company, but I soon fell so much in love with it, and I kind of built traction quickly. And then I realized about 2 years ago that I probably needed something more, and that I wasn't kind of getting to where I wanted to be within that company. And I didn't see my team winning, and I just ultimately knew that I had to leave. And at round about the time, I wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't, like people are like, oh, I've looked at this, I've looked at that. Hadn't looked at anything. And a post came up on my Facebook about pharmacy coming to the UK, and I was like, that's for me. I'm just going to do that. And I'm so glad that I said yes to that opportunity because it has grown me as a person so incredibly much. It has done wild things for me. And yeah, that's what brought me to pharmacy. And I love it here.
That's amazing. We have a very similar story too. I was never in network marketing. My last company, I was there for 8.5 years, and then here we are at pharmacy. And I'm so glad you're here with us. So, when we move into leadership, have you always wanted to be in a leadership role, or was there something that happened in your journey that made you realize like that was, the role that you wanted to step into?
hmm So I'm pretty sure a lot of us can relate to this, but I am the eldest daughter, the first child. I'm the eldest um, girl in the family, and I have always been what my older brother calls a bossy boots, but I just see it as like a leadership quality. I just think that sometimes you need to tell people you need to get shit done. And I I was like always just had this, kind of inkling, and through jobs that I've had in my life, I'm with my hairdressing background, I had my first manager role when I was 18, and ran that salon, and then went on to run and open another successful salon after that. So I knew that I always wanted to. And then when network marketing came along, I was like, yeah, 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 and I'm just going to do this for me. And then people, obviously they start joining you and they start asking you the questions. And yeah, I kind of just fell into it. But I wouldn't say with my old company, I did have a leadership position, but I don't feel like I was a leader while I was there. And I don't think that was through any fault of my own, or through anybody else. I just didn't really see the full potential of what network marketing can do. So I didn't really up my game fully until I came to pharmacy.
I
Um,
love that. And I think that that's kind of like a reminder. Obviously a company change can, up that for you, but a lot of us, we make mistakes, especially in leadership and we start that. We don't have to have that strong background and believe, like leadership is for us right away. And sometimes it takes those mistakes and things and we just get better and better.
mhm.
So, what do you think is the number one quality as a leader to be successful in this business?
Okay, so earlier on when you sent me these questions over, I read through them and I was like, I don't know. And
That's
then
okay.
And I was like, but you know what? I'm just going to ask my friends because I adore my friends. I adore my team. And I asked some of them, I sent a screenshot of this question, and they all kind of came back with the same thing. And they said that I'm very compassionate and understanding. And when I sat and thought about it, I realized that as a leader, you can go in all guns blazing and be like, get this, do that, da, da. But ideally, you need to sit down and go, do you know what? Like, what is it that you want? Because not everybody joins this business for money. That might be a second, third, fourth option to some people. Some people might join us because they're lonely and they need community. They might join because they just want the discount. They need to save some cash. So actually just sitting back and going, what does this person need from me? And showing them a bit of compassion that, yeah, life happens, that if they're, I'm going to hit 25% at the start of the month, and then by like day 29, they're on, they've not even done anything. That's okay because life happens. And I would never, you know, say to somebody like you failed this month. I would never like I don't have it in me to say to somebody you failed or you've done this. I would say life happens. Like don't be so hard on yourself. So yeah, I think probably compassion's probably the main thing that as a leader I would love my team to have is them being leaders as well. Like just have a bit of compassion for people and understanding.
Lead with your heart. That is
Hmm.
what's going to make a strong team, a strong community. I love that you asked your team that question. Love that. So, how did your leadership style evolve from when you first started until now? Especially hearing that, you didn't feel like you were in that leadership role to begin with. What kind of, like changed that for you at pharmacy?
Yeah, so before I felt like I was just coasting along, and I think maybe that's what I was fed up with. Um, my my friends and my team call me Tasha Fierce, and that's just a name I've adopted, I think, because when I want something, I go and get it. But with my old company, I did coast along, and I probably wanted, but was scared to admit what I wanted. And when I pharmacy landed in my lap and I could see all these things that it could do for you and seen all, I know I could, obviously you do your bit of digging and you see all like the big checks and everything. I was like, I want me some of that. That is what I want. Um, and I think I was just done. coasting and I was done not showing up for myself. And I knew that I could do it. And I thought I just have to prove myself wrong. Um, and here I am.
I
It's just,
love that.
you just have to do it. I've just stepped up and I've just went, this is the leader that maybe I needed, 8 years ago. Um, and this is what I'm doing now. So I just chose myself and went, right, let's do this.
I love that. What is possibly one of those mistakes that you've made early on, and what did that teach you?
Okay, so I would say that early on, I wanted to get all my team and have them just hitting and doing all the things. And I realized like it gave me burnout. And I don't know if you guys have the saying in America, but over here we'll say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Yeah. So I realized quite early on that I can lead someone to the water, to the money, to doing the to do, but effectively they're just never, they need to want it for themselves. And I had to take a step back and go, do you know what? It's okay if they don't want what I want. I'm just going to be here for them. And I think realizing that early on, I changed the way I approached things and probably gave me a lot more compassion as a leader so that I could then focus on what they actually really needed from me to move forward with whatever that is that they effectively wanted to achieve here at pharmacy.
Perfect. I think all of us need that reminder sometimes. Not
Yeah.
everybody is going to be the same as you. Not everybody is in that season of life. We're here to support and have compassion, lead with our heart, and give them what they need to succeed, but they've got to want it themselves. So I
Mhm.
love that. Okay, so what is something most new leaders focus on that doesn't actually move the needle, doesn't show them that success?
Groups. I'm just going to put it out there, groups. Like, do not try to recreate the wheel. If your leader, your upline has this amazing community and you're like, oh, I'm joining I'm going to be a leader. I've got, all this team and I'm going to make this group. Just don't. It's an energy sucker. It's going to suck the life right out of you and you're just going to feel so burnt out from trying to run a group, make sure your team's plugged into what needs to be plugged into, and run your own business, that you should be leaning on that community that your upline has. I'm not saying that like, 6, 8 a year. I mean, I've been here for 2 years and I've just started a group for my team. Um, but it's not very active. It's mainly for call recorded, like the calls that have been recorded and stuff. But I just think it just takes up so much time, and your time better spent somewhere else. So I would say groups without a shadow of a doubt. As soon as I seen that question, I was like, groups, that's it. Like you should be stepping into your uplines community so that they can see you as a leader and your team sees you as a leader. You don't need to make a group. You're just gonna shut yourself away and effectively just shut you down when you need to be seen by everybody. So yeah, 100%
I
groups.
love that answer. And I don't think that that's said enough. Because sometimes we get into a leadership stance in the very beginning and we're like, we got to create this and we got to do all this. And you know what I've seen over the time, especially when you start to create your own resources and do these all things really early, you section your team away. And a lot of them don't get to feel that bigger community. And here's the thing, why recreate the wheel when it's already created, you know? And our community is so great here, especially with Amber, will allow anybody to go on the team page and do a training, like when people feel ready. But I love that, like you'll get to a point in your business that you're ready to create those things, but not rush into it in the beginning. Perfect, perfect answer. Okay. How do you build influence without relying on like rank and title and things like that?
Okay, so if you've not realised by now, I'm very straight to the point and quite honest. I have I have four chronic illnesses that suck the life out of me every single day. But I am so consistent that I will share the good, the bad, the ugly, the most amazingest things. And I think that, sorry, can you just tell me the question again? Because lost my track.
So how do you build influence
Oh,
without
sorry.
relying on a rank and a
Oh,
type? The biggest thing with this is like I feel like some people get stuck into like, I don't have this big team and I don't have
yeah.
this big following. Like how do you end up growing that?
Well, I think I just because I've been consistent through those illnesses, that's where I was going with that. Sorry, that's a brain fog moment for me right there.
You're
Um,
good.
I think being consistent and just sharing, like, today isn't a good day for me, but I'm still here. People then realize, network marketing can fit into literally any section of your life. You don't have to have 8 hours in the day. You can have 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening. Some days I am so poorly that I can't walk, so I can't actually leave my room without the help of my husband. So on those days, like, I mean, I schedule on my posts, so I know that there's going to be business posts on my page. But if I want to go on my stories and sit there and tell you that I can't walk today or I'm still in my pajamas at 5 o'clock at night, then I'll just tell you I don't really care. And I think being honest and so consistent, I think that is it builds trust with people, but I also think it builds influence as well because they're saying, well, if she can do it on those days where she can't even get out of bed, and I'm sitting here going, I just can't do it because I'm scared, then I think, I feel like that builds influence. It might not be the same for everybody, but for my audience, I feel like that's what builds influence with them.
No, I think that's important. And it just being authentic with your audience. It's not about always the big titles and the big checks and all this stuff that happens. Being authentic, that really is going to pull into an audience that is going to fall in love with who you are. That's the biggest reason why people buy from us and join us, right? So
Mhm.
love that. Okay, so what is the biggest challenge in this business that you've had to face and how did you push through it?
Okay, so I would say when I was with my last company and my upline that I had was in the UK, and I had a conversation with her one day. In fact, she came into my inbox. I've been doing all the things that I should be doing. I've been doing the daily lives. I've been posting daily, just being consistent. And she came into my inbox and she said, hey, how are you? Just kind of general chit chat. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. How are you? And she's like, yeah, I just want to give you some constructive criticism. And I was like, yeah, okay. Um, but she was just being mean. I'm going to put that out there. She was being very mean. She told me that I wouldn't amount to anything. I would never be a leader. I would never amount to anything. Nobody wanted to see my cats being posted on Facebook. Um, Nobody wanted to see when I had a bad day. And she didn't even know how I basically had grown a team. And I sat there and I was just like, I cannot believe she has just came in my inbox and said that to me. Like, you are like that's not criticism to me. That's just being mean. That has been mean. Um, and I stopped posting. I totally shut down and I had already came in such a journey before network marketing. I couldn't even look in the mirror before I started network marketing. I hated myself. So I instantly was shut down, do not want, don't want to do it anymore, like closed book, the end. And my mum messaged me and she's like, why haven't you been posting? Are you okay? And I said, yeah. And I told her, and she said, she's been mean and she's jealous. And you need to remember whose daughter you are and you'll start posting again. Now, none of my team that know my mum are on this because it's too early in the morning, but my mum is such a strong woman that if you don't say yes, okay, mum, she's going to take your phone and do it for you. So I was like, absolutely, okay. And I just pushed through and I just unfriended, unfollowed, see you later, goodbye, and just stopped allowing her to be any association with me and just went, okay, that's your opinion. Only to then find out, because you do a wee bit of like stalking sometimes, that when she had left the company maybe a couple of months after that, that she was actually posting her cats on Facebook. So, she did get something from me eventually, but I feel like she was just a bit jealous. Um,
1000%.
so yeah, I just had to push through that, and I just promised myself that I would never ever let somebody make me feel like that ever again, because nobody has the authority to make you feel anything that you wouldn't make them feel. So I just said, no, see you later. I'm sorry, goodbye. Wish you all the best, but you're not my person.
Love
um,
that. An
yeah,
important reminder to everybody. You don't have to let people talk to you badly and be negative or do anything that's going to hurt your feelings.
yeah,
There's a black button on social media. That's okay.
yeah.
So thank you for sharing that. Okay, so how do you keep yourself motivated on slower days or slower seasons that you don't feel 100%?
So I think for me is I keep the bigger vision. I have my screensaver on my phone. I'm going to show it to you actually. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but my phone screensaver is a picture of it won't show on here. It's a picture of a baby girl with 2026 on it because I'm in my fertility journey and me and my husband, and then a picture of me at convention. And I look at that because without getting emotional, I my why's changed over the years, and being someone, a couple that suffers infertility, I just don't want to be working a 9 to 5 and missing the years that I have, I've longed to be a mum. I don't want to then go, oh, I'm just going to go to work now, see you later. Like, I want to be there for every single little thing. So on those days where I'm like, I've got no sales today, or I didn't offer the opportunity, I pick up my phone and I look at that screensaver and I'm like, right, that's it. Like, you're doing this not for you right now. You're doing this for future you and your future babies. So yeah, that's what
Oh,
I
I love that.
do.
Look, all the moms on here are gonna start getting emotional. It's like, oh gosh, I don't even want to get into it. I spent time in my life
Sorry.
thinking like I wasn't sure I wanted to be a mom, but it changes everything.
Mhm.
And for me, I used to work full time and everything. I couldn't imagine not
Mhm.
having a business like this to be able to be home with my son and not miss a thing. And, I so thankful for my husband, but I hate when he comes home and I have to tell him about new things and all that kind of stuff, but I don't get to miss those things. So, okay,
Yeah.
we're going to stop talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm sending you so much love on this journey and everything. Okay, so I lost my questions. Whew. What what mindset shift changed everything for your business?
Um, I think just knowing that I can and I will. And I have a little, I don't think she knows this, but I have like this little voice of Amber in my head telling me to step up to be the leader that I want to be. And I just go, right, okay, right, let's go. Let's do this.
I love that. There's days that I just like remember things that Amber have said to me, and I'm
Yeah,
like, okay.
yeah. Or you're like, what would Amber say? Or what would Amber do? But then, yeah, like when we were at a convention, she did come up to me and like we were talking, and she's like, you'll be so proud of me. I channeled my Tasha Fierce, my Amber Fierce today. And I was like, I'm so proud of you.
I do
So
that
like,
to
I'm so
her
glad, like she's like, I'm in her head.
too.
Like,
I love that. Um, okay, we are getting to the end. I don't want to keep you on here too late. What's one belief every leader must have to succeed long term?
that you can and you can and you will do it. Like, you get up every single morning and you just go. Like, go until you cannot go anymore. That's why I sit on these calls at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm tired and I'm like, I'm awake. I'm not going to watch TV because I can't sleep. I'm going to go and do something constructive. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm going to go and do it. And then I'm going to pour into my team the next day, and be like, I was on this call. I know I'm crazy, but it's okay. I'm just going to tell you what we talked about. And I just feed it back to them, usually in like a 15-minute voice note. And they're all like, oh, I wish I just joined the call. But yeah, I think just get up and know that you can do it. And just remember, no matter what rank that you are, if you're qualifying your business, you're 3%, you're six, whatever, you're a leader. You're a leader, and just be so proud that you've achieved what you've achieved and go and do it.
Love. Okay. What is one piece of advice that you would give a new pharmacy leader who wants to be successful here?
Go all in, because see, if you don't, you're going to miss. If you are wanting to come into this business and you're wanting to make it as a business full time, replace your income, go all in. Just go all in, submerge yourself in every single community that you're upline, your sideline, whatever you're doing, and just learn learn from everybody and grow yourself, and everything else will just follow. It might not take, it might take you a week, it might take you 2 weeks. Rome was not built in a day. There's no time scale on this. There's no time scale to get to 25%. There's not. There's no time scale to get to bronze and above. There's not. The trips will still be there. The holidays, the incentives will still be there, but just go all in. Do not hold yourself back. And this is my yes year. And, if you were on the call earlier, Amber was laughing because she's like, let's ask Tasha because she can't say no this year. But I knew that I had to say yes to everything in order to grow. So, yeah, just go all in and say yes. Just go and say yes.
I love that. And I think this is a reminder too, like, of course, I worded that question as like a new leader in the business. But for anybody that on here that maybe your business fell back or maybe you took time off and you're rebuilding, that same advice applies to your business too. So whatever season you're in, no matter if you're a rebuild, you're brand new, you're newer to this, anything, take that advice and go all in. I love
Wait,
that.
have like a Tasha Fierce in your head. Like, what would Tasha say? Go all in.
Now I'm gonna have two voices. I'm gonna have the Amber voice and the Tasha Fierce voice.
I
Okay,
feel
Tasha.
you.
We're gonna do quick questions. There's just a few. I did not send these to you. You've
Okay.
probably heard them before, but that's okay. Okay, so quick, short answers. What is one thing that people would be surprised to know about you that's not pharmacy related?
Okay, I have 28 aunts and uncles biologically related to me. And now you know why I'm crazy. They
Oh my
make me
gosh,
crazy.
that's insane. Okay, what is your favorite pharmacy product that you absolutely cannot run out of, refuse to run out of?
Aloe Glow, because I'm a bloated bitch. Two, I'm going to have three here because I've got one for each category. Aloe Glow, um, BB cream, and the intensive repair hair range.
Mm, amazing. Okay, early bird or night owl? I think we know the answer to this.
Mm, I'll still be in my bed tomorrow at 10:30.
Coffee or energy drink?
Oh, coffee, hands
Coffee.
down.
One word to describe your leadership style.
Fierce.
I knew it. I was like, I feel like we already know the answer to that too. Okay, last one. If you could give yourself one piece of advice on day one of joining this industry, what would it have been?
Don't listen to the mean girl.
Good one.
Don't
Good
listen to the
one.
mean girl.
All right, girl. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Thank you for everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. Say a huge thank you to Tasha for staying up until 2 a.m. and being here with us. And I will see you guys next week on our Tuesday call. I hope you guys have a great night. I'll see you guys later.
Having me.